back to the three Quirks and Turk, and as always guys, drive home safely. It's raining outside, but besides that, we are here to give you guys another great another hour and a half of entertainment to bring you home safely and sound. So the technology is working, Phuong.
Fantastic.
Camera's working.
Fantastic.
On the roll.
Except sometimes internet don't work.
I know.
That's out of my control.
No, blame it on IT, mate. Seriously.
Yeah,
What's going on with
it on us IT people?
Yeah, what's going on with the world, mate? NBN stuff's up, this stuff's up, that stuff's up. What's going on up there?
I'll take it.
You know?
Dish it out.
Poor Darren.
So, IT, right?
Yes.
Now, with IT, it's booming. The industry is booming. But there's one question I'd like to ask you is that, what about robotics, AI?
Ooh, robotics and AI, wow.
Is that something that you guys are looking at, or is that a conversation that you guys are talking in terms of like what's going to happen within, say, another 10 or 15 years with AI in Australia?
Yeah, look, definitely. I don't think AI is ready yet.
Yeah.
It's not at fruition. It's not developed enough here, but
Okay.
it certainly is going to be here. But it's still quite a while off.
So there's no real recruiters, big recruiters here in Sydney looking for anybody?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard of any,
Yeah.
but I don't know everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he can always start a new one called AI, recruitment
AI
agency.
recruitment, why not?
You know what I mean?
That was my
Let's go into
Correct.
partnership, guys.
it's a niche.
Yeah.
It's a niche there.
Correct. And you need robotics. Like, I'm testing out this robot right now. There's buttons on there,
Excuse
mate.
me, you're pointing at me.
There's buttons on there, mate. You know what I mean? Like, they're easier.
Yeah.
You maintain them.
Yeah, she's
plug them
great.
in.
High maintenance.
You know?
Very funny.
Turn her on, turn her off.
That's it.
Now, do you get a lot of graduates from uni coming out?
Yes, we do get a lot of graduates coming out. Myself personally, I don't do as much graduate recruitment. There are other recruiters that I know that specialise in graduate recruitment
Yeah.
and graduate positions, but there are a lot of graduates coming out every year.
Okay.
But some of my clients actually say that there aren't as many graduates coming out as there used to be.
Wow,
So
that's
that's one of
interesting.
the issues, that's one of the reasons maybe why we have a bit of a skill shortage.
Really?
Why though? Because the industry pays good money.
The industry
IT.
is, but you know what? A lot of large companies are outsourcing.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Well,
Because we did touch base on
yeah,
that before.
yeah.
Obviously, she's listening.
Yeah, sorry.
She's listening to our conversation. That's
Wait,
good.
The thing is, I get it, why there's not a lot of graduates
Yeah.
graduating from here.
Yes.
So where are they going? So why are they not doing it? So they're looking at other industries.
Yeah, exactly. Like a client of mine said, he went to his son's parent-teacher, night,
Yeah.
and someone stood up, or like that. When you do a session of what you want to be when you grow up,
Yeah.
and he said very few people stood up and said, "I want to be in IT."
Really?
Everybody said, "I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be a dentist. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a mechanic. I
Wow.
want to be a high tech. I want to be a cameraman. I want to be a
Really?
DJ.
I want to be a
That's
robot.
I want to be a robot."
Phuong wants to be a robot, see?
No, I don't.
But less people than he expected said, "I want to get into IT."
But the
So
thing
I
is,
don't know why.
when you were growing up,
Interesting.
Davey, did you want to be in IT?
No, when I was growing up, just to clarify, I'm only 29. Okay, just to clarify that, Phuong. I know where this is going. All right, because Darren touched base on a 9 to 5 magazine. Right,
Yes.
I read a lot. That's why I know what 9 to 5
Right,
magazine.
yes.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Isn't that
That's
like
a long time ago.
okay?
Yeah. That's a free magazine that people catch a train in the morning. There's
Okay.
people at town hall or that they can have the
Okay.
magazine for you to read. You
You're
know.
still 29.
I'm still 29. But the interesting though, right, is that I think IT, there's always been IT. Now, the issue with IT is that a lot of them have to leave Australia to go overseas because that's where the money is. And the second thing also, we touch base on this, and that recruitment agencies now are struggling to find good Australian people to work here because a lot of corporations are outsourcing from India, China, other countries as well to do IT. Now, the way I look at it is rule number one for me is we need to support Australian employment agencies and Australian people here first.
Yes.
And,
yeah,
and I think we need to do that. And the corporations are trying to cut costs to make a profit. Now, they don't realize that, okay, they might save a lot of money from paying, say, Darren, right? But the truth of the matter is when they source that out, they're going to have so much headache because, like you were saying, it's not just about someone learning a skill set like Microsoft Certified Engineer. Just because you have the certification, that does not mean that you understand the system. That does not mean that you understand how the culture work and the corporate work in Australia.
Exactly.
And that is the issue that a lot of corporations are having. So I think at the end of the day, no matter what, corporation out there, listen and listen thoroughly right here. I want to repeat myself that we need to support Australian jobs and employment before you start to outsource overseas.
I agree.
100%.
You two are just shocked. You two are just falling in love with me. You
I agree.
know?
No, we're just waiting to when you're going to finish.
All right, okay, so-
No, actually, I want to put it to Darren. Darren,
Yes.
what are the actual questions that employees tend to ask?
That employees or employers?
Employers.
Employers ask about me in terms of how I work or about the market.
So an employee would go, so a potential
Yep.
person who wants a job, and
Yes.
they go for a job interview, that is.
Yes.
What's the typical questions that employees ask?
Gotcha. So when they go for an interview with the company or the
Company?
client,
Yes.
they've gone to me, I've screened them,
Yep.
I've presented them to the client.
Yep.
Awesome. So they go in, it could be a part of a 2 or 3 part interview process,
Yeah.
but the first process is usually just to get as much insight as they can
Okay.
into what they've actually done in the past in terms of experience, in terms of, like, certification is one thing, but you know, to me, certification is neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Experience is the most important thing. And so companies will go through their journey, their career journey, and say, okay, you stayed here in this company for, you know, from here to here. What did you do? What was your exact role? What did you learn?
And it can be very technical questions
And it can
too.
be very technical, yes.
It would have to be technical though.
Yes.
Because it's IT. But the process for Darren is that, okay, the process is the company would contact Darren's company and say, this is the people we're after, someone with Microsoft, links and all that,
Yes.
this qualification. So Darren's IT company would then advertise and put it out there
Yes.
and advertise to get these people to come through.
Yep.
Then you will screen those
Screen them.
candidates, ask
So
questions.
how long does that screening take?
Oh, a long time. And
Yeah.
interesting enough, I mean, now with the skill shortage,
Mm,
the old days we could find a good quality candidate in a week or 2.
yeah.
Nowadays it can take a month or 2
Wow.
because it's a very different scenario. Yeah.
Mm,
But then after that screening, as you
Yeah.
say, then I present and then the company does their own screening.
yes.
And the issue as well for companies out there is that nowadays, because it's such a candidate short market,
Yes.
you have to move fast.
Ah.
And a lot of companies take too long between interviews. And then that person's got another job.
Right.
So they've got to start again.
Wow.
It's all of the decision making.
Yes.
Are they right fit for
Exactly.
these places?
So really, like the recruitment process
Mm.
needs to be succinct, fast, quality,
Yeah.
but efficient.
What about, this is interesting also.
So how fast are we talking about? Are we talking about
We're
like
talking within a week or 2.
okay, there you go.
Yeah. Another interesting thing also I've found is that a lot of recruitment agencies tend to use a matrix to assess the future candidate. And one of those matrix is they sit in a room and then they do the test about the psychology in that. Now, do you think that actually work?
Good question. I mean, this is something that we've spoken about over the years.
Yeah.
There's always this debate. Like,
Mm.
there's a very famous one called disc profiling. You
Yes,
know that
disc
one?
Yes.
profiling,
There's
yes.
so many different types. And I think they do work to a degree.
Okay.
But there's also nuances involved. And everybody has a slightly different personality at work to where you are at home, to where you are with your friends on the
Yes.
weekend.
True.
So sometimes these blanket, unless they're really tailored
Yeah.
and they're really, really sophisticated,
Mm.
you know, I don't know if it captures the true essence of a person.
Okay, that's true.
It
That's
can sometimes
true.
back up or substantiate things, or
Mm.
you know, used as an adjunct to the rest of the process.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the be all and end all.
Yeah. Good. It is,
Yeah, because you don't solely just go, okay, he's very D
yeah.
or very I
Mm.
or very S or C.
Exactly.
Like you won't
Yeah,
judge
it's not
that
going to
person.
fit in our environment because our environment is more S.
S,
Or,
yeah.
You know, and everybody's different. Like some people have, you know, more of one than the other, but they still can adapt
Mm.
and they can still work and get along with others
Correct.
because they have an ability to adapt and have self-awareness. So
One of these
Yeah.
scenario questions there would be something like, okay, Phuong, you walk into a room and there's 30, 40 people in that room. A, would you walk up and say, good day, mate? B, would you walk into the room and you sit there by yourself? Or C, you don't enter the room. What would you answer? You would tick A, B, or C.
Hi everyone.
So you would walk into C. So,
Introduce myself.
correct,
Like,
right?
Let's start it because if I'm not going to start a fire.
you would start a fire. Oh,
No.
that's a bad
No,
sign.
no. I mean like, as in a discussion.
Yes.
So when I do walk into a room, it's like, hi, it's with a smile, right?
Correct.
So I'm friendly, I'm easygoing, you can approach me.
Yes.
But if I walk in the room sneakily like a mouse, I'm not going to be heard.
Yes.
So I'm more of an influencer than I.
Yeah. But then again, every role requires a different skill set, a
Correct.
different personality.
But then again, it's also you got to suss out the environment. Is this the right environment to actually do that? Is like when you it's case by case.
That's Darren's point.
Exactly.
See, so the thing is that they will assess that, and then it's either A, B, or C. So whether you tick A, B, or C, then they will determine whether you are the right fit for that particular job. And I think that's so wrong.
I mean, they do say that they look at, every person is a mixture of A, B, C, and D, with two of them more dominant than the others.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not always as blanket as A, B, or C.
Black and white. Sure.
However, I don't know, like this discussion's been in recruitment for years, and I still go by instinct and gut feeling. And as a recruiter, you might be working with a client for a long time. You've placed a lot of people, so you know what fits in with that client, what personality. So your instinct can tell you that's going to work or that's not going to work with experience. And sometimes these testing can sometimes even slow down the process again, causing the whole thing to fall over because you took too long.
That's interesting, isn't it? Let me ask you something else, Darren.
Sure.
Within the recruitment industry, expert reviews there's one word that you should not say or mention in your job interview.
What is that?
Unemployed.
That you're unemployed.
Correct. For
Why?
a short period of time. Why?
Yes.
The man is here. Answer that. Why?
Okay, interesting. Right now,
But if you were made redundant, for
Yes.
example, therefore you are going to be unemployed.
They don't want to hear that.
Okay,
I don't wanna hear
but then
that.
how do you cover up that you're not?
Well, I think you can either say, well, I decided to travel, I decided to do another course, I decided to study, but never say that I was unemployed for a month or two and I was looking for a job.
yeah, really good point. And nowadays there's even another nuance, something that's happening is that when people have been made redundant or they've just finished up with working, they don't say I'm unemployed or I'm finished working. They say I'm in between jobs.
I've heard of in between.
That's
Yeah.
the new term to use.
Okay.
So in between.
Yes.
But then you're still giving it away. You're still
Because
telling
it-
people that I'm unemployed still.
Because it's actually saying that you are unemployable for that month or 2 months that you were off.
Oh,
See,
dear.
so it's a catch-22,
It
isn't it?
is. But can I just add for all the
Yeah,
people out
please
there
do.
listening?
Please do.
The key to substantiating your background and your experience in an interview is to be able to just tell a truthful story about whatever it was that happened. So if you were unemployed, in inverted commas, or in between jobs, or you had to, take a break, or you had to do something else, you have to just be able to articulate that story and tell people why.
Okay.
And then people say, okay, fair enough, I understand. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's be emotional and make it moving so that they feel for you, right?
But if you don't, if you start jittering and trying to cover it up, or change the dates in your resume so it make all this kind of stuff. Inconsistencies. That's what causes the problem.
Okay.
People would rather you be honest and have a true story, and as long as it makes sense.
So it's just to me, it just sounds like it's hard to be vulnerable.
Yes, you can't.
And
you can't be honest either sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because safe argument's sake, Phuong, that you
don't have to tell the full truth. I think that's what we're.
The truth is, I guess, in many ways, you can twist a little bit, but also if they find out that you kind of like twisted a little bit, would they say you're a dishonest person? So you can't win.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, you have to put your best foot forward. That's the
Best
way
foot forward. I love it.
You have to put your best foot forward in everything you do.
I've got 2 feet.
That applies to life.
Which one, left or right?
But you're a robot, so it doesn't matter.
You're listening to the 89.3 FM with 3 Quirks and Turks. Let's get us online with Vichy. Hey, brother.
Independent, non-profit.